Once upon a time, in the very beginning, there was nothing but water, just deep, dark water. And then the earth began to form, and with it, God formed rivers and valleys, lush greenery and flowers of every color. Tall trees reached up to the sky, letting sunlight stream through their branches and leaves. And in this beautiful, serene paradise, God made his home. And one day God said, "I want to make man in my own image, a being who can think and feel and love and live in my paradise." So God formed a man from the dust of the earth and breathed the breath of life into him. The man became a living being. He woke up and looked around and saw all the beauty and wondered, who made this? But no one answered, because at that time there was no one else besides God and himself. Then God said, "It is not good for man to be alone. I will make him a helper fit for him." So while our first father, Adam, slept, God took a rib from him and formed it into a woman. Then God made her very beautiful and radiant, like the morning star. She was everything to him. They walked hand in hand throughout the garden. They talked to each other about everything, and they named all the animals. They enjoyed the sweet fruits and the lush vegetation. There was no fear or sadness, only peace and joy. It was perfect. But one day, God said to them, "You may freely eat from any tree in the garden, except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you eat from that tree, you will surely die." And God left them alone in the garden. Now, this tree was in the middle of the garden, surrounded by beautiful flowers that were very enticing. But Adam and Eve didn't even notice the flowers or the tree, because they had no desire to do anything bad. But one day, as Eve walked through the garden, she saw the most beautiful flower she had ever seen. And as she reached out to touch it, a serpent slithered down the tree and spoke to her, saying, "Why are you hiding? Don't you want to know what this flower tastes like?" Eve looked at the snake. "I'm not hiding," she said. "And God told me not to touch it. He said, we must not eat the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil." The serpent looked at her for a moment, then said, "You won't die. In fact, the fruit tastes so delicious, so much better than the food God gives you. Why don't you try? Just a little bite." And Eve really wanted to taste the fruit. And for a moment, God's voice echoed in her mind, saying, "You may freely eat from any tree in the garden." So she thought, well, maybe God was wrong. Maybe I can eat some of the fruit. So she reached out, took the fruit, and ate it. She looked at the fruit in her hand and realized it tasted exactly like the serpent said it would: sweet, juicy, and delicious. And as she turned to go back, she saw Adam and called out to him, "Come, taste the fruit. It's so delicious. You'll never regret it." And Adam did as she asked, and immediately agreed. Yes, let's hide the fruit, and let's pretend we didn't do anything wrong. Suddenly, Adam and Eve's eyes opened wide. They looked at each other, and then down at the fruit in their hands. They realized they had done something very wrong. Shame washed over them. They covered themselves with leaves and ran to hide. God heard the commotion and began to walk through the garden. "Adam, where are you?" he asked. Adam and Eve hid among the trees and called out to each other, "He heard us. Now we will die." Then they heard God's voice again. "Adam, where are you? What have you done?" Adam looked at Eve. "It was her idea," he said. Then God turned to Eve. "Woman, what have you done?" Eve looked down at her feet. "The serpent tempted me, and I took the fruit and ate it," she said. God looked at the serpent. "Because you did this, you shall be cursed more than all the animals and all the beasts of the field. On your belly you shall go and eat the dust of the ground all the days of your life. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel." To the woman, God said, "I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. With painful labor you will give birth to children. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you." Then to Adam, God said, "Since you have listened to your wife, and have eaten from the tree about which I commanded you, cursed is the ground because of you. You will have to work very hard to get food from it. It will no longer yield its fruit, and its plants and its trees will not be food for you. For 2 years I will make your life very difficult. Then you will return to the ground from which you came, for you are dust, and to dust you will return." Immediately, Adam and Eve knew they could not stay in Eden. So they stood up and started to walk away from the garden. But when they arrived at the gate, an angel with a flaming sword appeared before them, barring their way. "Don't go that way," Adam said to the angel. "We don't want to go back," replied the angel. "You are banished from Eden. If you try to go back, I will have to kill you." So Adam and Eve continued to walk away from Eden, from the tree of life, and from God. They didn't know where they were going, but they had each other, and they had hope in God, His promise that one day He would return to find them.